Hey Scrappers, what's up? Good morning, evening, or afternoon, time zone, wherever you are. I hope you're having a good chunk of time. This is Izzy, and I just wanted to pop in real quick before the episode and say thank you so much for your support and listening and reviews and comments and Discord things, even though some of you have weird opinions about M&Ms and yogurt. That's fine. We love you all. So as part of our celebration for the end of book one, we held a little sticker giveaway. Congratulations to our two winners, sorry, that's so loud, Blandra, or Bellandora, and Fuzzy Doug. Thank you all so much for entering. Again, reviews really are the lifeblood, the death blood, all the bloods of these tiny independent podcasts. So we super appreciate it. For everyone who didn't win but still wants a sticker, like my own self, for, water bottles, laptops, cell phone cases, the robotic arm of a close friend, we will be making those available for sale as soon as we figure out how to make things available for sale on the internet. But you know what? Etsy did it, and so did Amazon. So we can do it too. Thanks again for listening, and please enjoy this episode of Pod Against the Machine. Okay, bye.
Pod Against the Machine.
Welcome back to Pod Against the Machine, the only actual play podcast with a lawful good paladin who's willing to kill babies just for being from space. And welcome to Book 2, everybody!
Woo! Book 2!
Hey.
We're doing it!
I mean, yay, but I feel personally attacked.
Oh, right, yeah.
Well,
Sorry for your loss.
maybe you shouldn't kill space babies.
You speak as though this is just a line in the sand. From space, gone. This particular, quote, space baby definitely wanted to eat people and did something weird to Kira, the only one who failed to save. Who knows what it was. Probably didn't, germinate or something, and she's gonna grow plant friend out of her ears. But in any case, hey, back off.
Well said.
Well, I just thought, since we're into Book 2 now, I'd start off on a combative foot, because, the kid gloves are off. Things are going to get violent in Book 2. Probably we're going to have 3 to 4 TPKs. Not totally peaceful Kasathas this time.
Oh, no.
I haven't known of a dinner with someone's parents that hasn't ended in a TPK, Sam.
Those are all my dinners.
Yep. Anytime I bring anyone back to meet the folks, it's just... Anyway.
They made a couple movies about that, I'm pretty sure.
Plus, Kira's parents are obviously faceless stalkers.
True.
And will try to devour us all, so there's that.
I think one of them's a veggie pygmy, actually, if I remember
That's true.
correctly.
That is, yes.
Well, we already,
Canonically.
that's canon. That's on the map.
Yeah, weird that was left out of the cutscene of the Venture Pygmy sitting with Dolga waiting at the entrance of the Weeping Pond.
Well, she was in a disguise in the cutscene.
It actually is just a Vetcha Pygmy, and everyone's just way too polite to point out that it's clearly not Kira's mom.
Yeah, if there's one thing we've learned about the citizens of Torch, they're all too polite.
They're very polite. He's like, don't stare. Sometimes your moms are vegapygmies. It's not a thing that anyone can control.
It's true. I mean, it's not Kira's fault. It's not Kira's mom's fault, even.
Just it's something that happens,
Russet mold gonna russet mold. So when when last we left our heroes, they had encountered a gearsman for the very first time under the hill, and they mutilated it, doing close to 90 damage in one round. And then it did something weird that I don't think we should dwell on. And then they went through, they collected some more loot, including another white key card because, it's raining key cards. And then they went up and they executed some leprosy piñatas, and they booted a baby back into space, and they officially cleared out the caves and spaceship under the Black Hill. So that was the end of Book 1. How's everybody feeling about that denouement?
I would like to petition to make the spaceship into kind of like a clubhouse situation. Whenever the team is back in Torch, they can have fog machines and those lights that shine through the fog machines. And also, did I mention the fog machines? That's really my primary staple in any clubhouse. I just need the fog machine. And then snacks.
And to make the clubhouse appear, you have to say the magic words.
It can be like our Hall of Justice, and we have our superhero symbol at the front, which is a rat head getting punched with a fist.
Hey, we started as the face punched and became the face punchers. And tell me a group with a better story than that. I'm waiting.
It's growth.
Can't do it.
I just immediately envisioned Brixby's face, but with all 4 of Hetawat's arms coming in from like an axe, just punching in the face.
Like a what is it? A crest of arms.
Yes. Oh man. The fan art for that, please. A shield with a rat face in the middle of it getting punched.
Yeah, the heraldry for Brixby's
Field
family.
of black. A mouse of red.
Yeah, I keep seeing Brixby wearing the Heisenberg hat and sunglasses. And just saying, I am the one who face punches.
Oh my god. Yeah, I gotta get one of those in. I'm sure I will. Somewhere in Scrapmaster's Arena when I am getting literally murdered in this upcoming book.
I don't know. You've got
so
so much
excited.
HP.
That's true. We have a whole bunch of HP. I have a whole level 4 Blood Rager and 18 rage rounds a day. I'm getting so much punching in, y'all.
You're going to punch Brixby in the face so many times.
So many times.
Poor Brixby.
Yeah, well, he's just got one of those faces. Ever since it was stabbed by that spike, it's been I don't know about this. I know you were horrifically injured, but I am going to punch your face.
Just looks a little bit off. You gotta punch him. So I think we can pick things up with all of you having emerged from under the hill once more. It's the afternoon, and you do have an appointment this evening at the Smith family house to have dinner with Kira's parents. But I think you've got a little bit of time before that happens if anybody wants to do anything about, having just murdered leprosy piñatas and robots and climbed through the stinky water a couple times, or if you have anything else you want to take care of.
I just don't trust that Connor Bain, guys. How about you?
I think we have a pre-dinner interrogation.
I don't know. Sandwell tried to stir stuff up about Kira that seems to have been baseless. Do we, the characters, know? I guess we don't know about that. Only Breakspear really does. But Sandville as a trustworthy source is, tenuous at best. But at the same time, Asher is suspicious.
When we said Gartone's name at the council meeting in the last session, did we get a reaction from anyone but Connor?
I don't think anything particularly pronounced, no.
Yeah, so it's not like a name that's known in town. It was specifically a name that Connor recognized.
Which Dolga had definitely pointed out with the urgency of finding him, as he was the one who's always kind of handled the interactions with the League. So I don't know. I'm trying to not to read too much into that aspect yet, because I just don't know what Connor's deal is, man. Yep.
I'm still wondering if, I think it's something with the daughter. Like, I think it's weird that they would go to so much trouble to point out that she's a Kellid, like to the point that like her book art has her with Kellid face paint, even though that would make no sense because he's raised her from a kid. Like, I'm wondering if like she was like a slave and he bought her from the League or something, or like that there's something in his like that he acquired this kid in like some underhanded way, like he did not pick her up from an adoption agency.
What if she's in Witsec? We're gonna blow her cover and put her in danger.
I think it's a risk we gotta take. I appreciate your dedication to the cause, Asher and Jeff, both of you together being just lawful good dudes, but I personally am deeply skeptical. I'm gonna push that guy into a wall. Gently. A gentle wall pushing. It's fine, Zach.
And then you'll leave a note.
Yeah, of course,
Let's go push him into a wall. Let's go do it right now. That's actually what we're on our way to do right now, Sam. As heroes, we only have a limited opportunity where everything that we do is okay. So,
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. Is there like a way that we can get ourselves a meeting with Connor or something, or like away from everybody else, so that if he does have some kind of horrible secret, the town doesn't like lynch him?
Well, you do know where he lives, and he just lives with Val.
yeah, I at the very least. So I think if we're discussing this in character, assuming that like the four of us are kind of together, there isn't fanfare, there aren't teens. You know, they're all at the library that was opened recently. Now that people aren't focusing on the torch. In the old Silver Disc Hall. That's where it happened. That is where the library is, Jeff. Canon.
Aw.
But yeah, I think Brix would turn to the rest of the group and say, I have some more questions for Connor, and I'm sure the rest of us do too. That town meeting wasn't the right place to ask them, but I want to know how he got better. What Sandville said to him, what Sandville wanted. Maybe, if we can get it out of him, what Sandville was warning us about, if there is anything at all.
Yes, I don't want to believe what Sandville said is the truth, because, well, look at the rest of what he said. He's not exactly an honest person, but we found those drugs on him. We use them on Meonda. We know they work. If he did discover something about Connor that the rest of the town doesn't know, and that he feels makes him untrustworthy, I feel like it's better for us to know it.
Are we gonna try and talk to him now while he's still healing?
I think that might be best. We can go and visit him. And I have other questions for him too. Kira, when you asked me about magic, I think that he might be the only one you or I know that could answer, at least with a scholarly, in-depth response to anything about our new powers.
Okay, well, I would love to learn more about those, but we're not gonna, like, hurt him, right? It's Val's dad.
No, I don't believe we have a case for that or any need for that. Whatever Sandville meant, well, we'll do our best to ascertain. But somebody being untrustworthy, for all we know, it just means Connor cheats at cards. We don't know that it means he's a danger to the town or the region. I recommend we approach this with curiosity and perhaps some suspicion, but not with antagonism in mind. Diplomacy over intimidation.
Okay, but if he's cheating at cards, someone should know.
Well, apparently the only place to play cards in public has recently been converted to a learning space for the youths. I'm very pleased to find out.
Yeah, I know, but what about Val? She's playing games and she's losing them all the time and she doesn't know why, and that's not fair.
Well, let's just see if that's the case. I mean, he seems like... I don't know that he's cheating at Crazy Eights or anything like that. Or go fishing.
Just putting in a note that Kira will hold 1 intimidate for card cheating explanation. Just putting it out there now so we're all ready.
That's a readied action to intimidate.
To intimidate about cards exclusively.
I was just like, are you holding 1 forward? That's the wrong system.
Yeah, I realized that. Just all the verbs. I'm holding 1 forward to kick in the door. Say, hey, are you cheating at cards? And then I'll roll appropriately.
So, to be clear, that's how we're entering the foundry right now.
Mm-hmm. And the Smith family home later. It's going to be our thing. We're kind of working on it as a catchphrase.
It's a book 2 situation, Sam, so.
Yeah. Kira busts the door down with her lucerne and screams out, "Are you cheating at cards?"
It's my new brand. It's a battle cry I'm working on.
All right, so I think we're headed over to the foundry, where you can hear easily enough from the outside that somebody at least is hard at work in the foundry workplace type, not the inn, but the and not the house,
The smelting
either.
foundry.
The one that's like a literal foundry. Which I guess
Lowercase f.
has been labeled number 3.
I didn't see the
I
key.
forgot I did that the other week.
I forgot about the key in the corner. That's really what gets me. If no one has seen it in the lower right corner.
Yeah, for the audience at home, while the important conversations with the town council were going on during our previous session, I took the draw tool in Roll20 and labeled all 3 of the buildings, and then put a key down in the bottom right corner where they're all just labeled as Foundry.
Helpful stuff, thank you.
My Roll20 is misbehaving, so I'm going to reload that. Don't really need the map unless you're going to fight Connor.
We're kicking in the door. I don't know what, is that maybe like is that a CMD roll?
It's a strength check for a break DC.
Great. Hang on.
We could try opening it. Asher says as Kira begins. Like, I imagined her in the sprinter's position, just ready
That's a
to
dirty
charge
20.
up and shoulder into the door.
So, which one of these is the door? This one up here, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's several doors to the place.
Well, I thought these might be... Oh, yeah, this is a door, too.
Yeah.
I was going to say, because that's definitely a window. That's a window. Oh, yeah, that's a... Oh, yeah, there's 100 doors. I'm blind.
And I will go ahead and reiterate, that's a dirty 20 on the strength check.
Yeah, so you kicked that door open. Yeah, Connor is hard at work over the broken repair robot, and dogs all over the neighborhood are barking their heads off at the sound of a door being kicked open. And Connor starts violently and at the sound and drops the spanner he's holding and goes, "Oh my God, you scared the life out of me."
Aha! That proves it. You're cheating at cards. I'm kind of kidding. Hi.
Hi, I don't think I've been cheating at cards.
Okay, you promise?
Sure.
I'm gonna roll a sense motive on that one. Ooh, that's an 8.
With an 8, he might be lying. He's definitely confused.
Well,
Aren't we all?
we've certainly caught him off guard. That part succeeded. We have totally taken control of the interrogation by demonstrating our prowess on his doorframe.
Yeah, so for the rest of the interrogation, Carol will stand quietly in the back, but her arms are folded and she's just,
She's trying to hold the broken door up with her body. She's just like, yep.
Okay, now you guys go.
Howdy, Kona. Pardon our entrance. We've been Well, we've been workshopping the hero thing a bit too much, and we just got in our own oats, you know. You look hard at work. What have you got there?
I'm working on reconfiguring the remains of this repair robot into a sort of, a set of legs for myself. I'm going to build a sort of carrier to sit on and use the 3 legs of the device to get around now that mine have been, you saw them.
Yeah, that's unfortunate that it didn't get the stunning recovery that it appears your wonderful mind has. Torch is very lucky to have you back about your wits.
No, I feel very lucky to be recovered.
I actually had a question about that, not to be too to the point, Corner. Sandville, as you know, we were the last ones to see him alive. But before that, it was you. He visited you, and he administered drugs you said he had found. Did he say anything else to you? Did you notice anything about him? We're trying to figure out what led to, well, and he stops and just sort of looks back down at the robot.
Well, he was certainly nervous or upset, and he tried to make a deal with me in exchange for the medication to tell him what it was that you all had found, that power relay device, or where it was, and I don't exactly remember, but I told him that I knew that information in confidence, and I couldn't share it with him, even in exchange for the medication. Now, he wound up treating me anyway. He said it was to show he was not a bad guy after all, or something to that effect. I'm afraid I don't know much more than that. He did say he had a letter to write, which I believe would have been his letter to the Technic League.
To Garcon.
Oh, yes, that's right. He definitely looks nervous about this sort of direction of conversation.
Tell me, Connor, just a quick question. Fixing this robot and knowing about exactly what it was that Sandville did to you, how exactly does someone come across information like that?
Oh, which information?
He asked about how he knew how to repair that robot to become his new legs, and how he knew what it was that Sandville did to fix him.
I am a wizard by trade, but I have spent quite a bit of time studying in Numeria. I've worked with machines for decades. I know quite a bit about them, more than most. I actually designed the water filtration system that the entire town relies upon. So this will be quite a trick to get it working, but I don't believe it's beyond me.
Okay. Sense motive rolls. That's a 22. So I think Kira will slide over to probably Asher, since Brixby is talking now, with one hand still just holding up the door, because that's polite. But then whisper as subtly as she's capable of, I don't think he's telling the truth about Gartone. He knows more than he's telling us.
Is that true? Did I miss the reveal? Again, sense motive being opposed.
Yeah, there wasn't a reveal, but I think your assumption pretty much nails it. He's definitely holding something back in his explanation. of how we would know how to do this, and sort of talking about Cartone.
Cool. I was making sure because I have no idea Connor's background. If you behind the screen rolled 29 on your bluff, Kira could be like, yeah, seems like he's legit. It's level 4. I mean, I don't believe anything at first sight. Asher will nod knowingly to Kira, and then look to Connor and say, "Oh, come now. Certainly there's something more to this tale. Your exploits must be too numerous to recount all at once, but is there a history with these robots, or perhaps some information you've gleaned from your dealings with the League that you might have found useful?" And I'll roll a diplomacy. Ooh, a natural 6. Which is 5 more than my previous roll. So it's all uphill from here. It's a 16 total on diplomacy, and I will see you next time.
And he thinks for a second, and he says, for the most part, I've managed to avoid dealing with the Technic League in my time here in Torch. Thankfully, they're not the types you would want to work with if you had any choice to the contrary.
Yes, I've gathered that much.
Brix is going to take a slightly different approach, seeing that Asher and Kira were talking to each other and then started talking to Connor. And I would like to roll knowledge engineering or craft mechanical, either one, because I have both to aid his task while we're talking to him.
Okay.
Which one would you prefer, craft mechanical or...
I would say knowledge engineering.
Oh, I like that more. All right, that's a
Yay.
22. Rolling an 11 plus my 11. Many hands make light work. Maybe I can help you with this, and that can free up your mind for details. We've kind of been latching on to the little bit of information we've been given. But, Garton, appears to be a name you recognize in your dealings with the Technic League. Can you tell us anything about him?
I mean, he looks surprised when Brixby sort of leaps in and starts working at things, and it sort of looks like you might go to brush your hands away until it. He can see that Brixby, knows what he's doing. He knows his way around the robot, so he relents on that before he ever really interferes. And he says, Garton he's one of the commanders of the Technic League, perhaps in the highest echelon of command, and he's a man with a terrible reputation for cruelty, and he sighs, and he looks down. He says, I suppose you all have earned the truth. You saved my life, and you saved my town. The truth is, my name is not Connor Bain. At least it wasn't. My name, at birth was Pauldrus Gray. And I grew up in Starfall. And I used to work for the Technic League. I was a low-ranking assistant to Garton years and years ago. And though I will say that I came into the job knowing, at least thinking I knew what the Technic League was. the deeper I got and the longer I worked with them, the more I saw the atrocities that they were visiting upon people, and the more I had to get away. He had Garton, that is, he had some prisoners, children, abducted Khalids, that he had some plan to convert them into some kind of alchemical homunculus. I never even really understood the science behind it, but it was too abhorrent to stand by, and I killed him. Well, I thought I killed him. I blew up his laboratory, faked my own death, and I fled with the only child I could rescue, Val. And I thought he was dead. But, I learned months later, when I was hiding in Chesed, that he was still alive, and he had placed a bounty on Pauldrus Grey's head. So I became Connor Bane, and I've been Connor Bane for quite some time.
And you should remain to be, as Brixby continues to work. He tries his best to not show anything negative. If anything, just acceptance and understanding on his face. I personally know how hard it is to scrabble and steal and borrow and beg for magic and technology in Numeria. A man doesn't amass the gems you hold inside your head without coming up against the Technic League. More so, a man is defined by the choices that he makes, not the ones that he's made. Torch is a good place because you're here, I guess is what I'm saying. And he just focuses back on the work.
Would he know your face, Garton?
It's been years, and I had a beard when I worked for him, but I don't doubt he would recognize me. I'm sure he hates the man who, from what I've heard, took his face from him.
Okay, so then you can't stay here, right? If he's coming here, even if he's maybe coming here, you and Val have to leave. Maybe you can come with us, and we'll find somewhere safer for you to be, because otherwise it could get bad.
Oh, if he does come to Torch, Val and I believe, will hide ourselves. I don't want to run again. I don't want to start over. That was a hard life, especially on the child. And I think we can make do here. And Dolga, she knows who I am, and Joram does as well. They're the only ones in town. Sandville, actually, he knew. I have no idea how he found out, but he threatened to reveal my secret. So I would like to believe that he didn't tell Garton, and he led me to believe that he hadn't. So I'm hoping that they don't come, at least for now.
But you know, he knew somehow. So someone must know something, somewhere.
No matter how hard you try to bury your secrets, there's always something.
Does Val know?
Oh, Val remembers quite clearly.
I would certainly not recommend burying secrets, what with rains and things of that nature, shifting things in the earth. Why we discovered this ship that was buried beneath Torch. If anything, secrets should probably be burned if they have to exist in the first place.
Asher, I think that was metaphorical, and he didn't actually mean, like, putting secrets in the ground.
I see. Well, that's still a good, bit of advice, I suppose.
Yeah, thanks.
And looking much more serious, and his smile is gone. He looks really intently at Connor and asks, What of the other children's fate? Have you heard what became of them? Did they escape in the lab explosion? Are they still being held by the League?
I have no idea. I don't think Artone was the only one who would do experiments on live victims. And I never saw any of the children except Val. She doesn't speak about that time much. But,
This lab was in Starfall?
Yes. I know Gartone at least was laid up after the fire. So he couldn't have experimented on them immediately anyways.
And how long ago was this?
Oh, this was years ago. Oh. Sam doesn't remember how many years. Several.
What did that in post?
This was 5 years ago.
This was
Make it
X
super
years
obvious
ago.
that it was edited in.
This was Atlanta Falcons years ago.
X gonna give it to you. And he looks almost anxious. Asher does when he hears this. Like his before the League has just been this, sort of nebulously unscrupulous organization that nobody wants to mess with. And now, like, experimenting on kids is like next level evil. So he is disturbed.
And Vargas is just very quiet through this whole thing. He's just kind of standing there behind Brixie with his arms crossed, not saying anything one way or the other.
If they come here, can you tell us? Izzy is not aware of what kind of mail system Numeria has, so I don't know if that's actually possible, but it seems like it'd be super convenient. I just think that if you think you're going to be in trouble, you should have a plan, and maybe we can help. Or my family. You can stay with my family, and they'll make sure nothing happens to you.
Well, thank you for that. Depending on where you all are, I will try to get word to you in the event that the League comes.
Thanks.
There's honestly a bit of solace in this, I think, Kira, because the Technic League is in an unknown now. Connor's at least loosely familiar with the depths that they'll go, the means they have. Torch isn't entirely underprepared. And you are a powerful spellcaster, and as he gestures down at the robot, a knowledgeable man.
He nods solemnly and says, I don't believe my skills compare much to anyone of any real rank in the League, but yes, we do know a bit about them, and so far they haven't taken too much interest in Torch as long as they get their money every month.
So we know out of game, before I ask this, pretty much everything useful has been depleted in scrap wall, like hundreds of years ago, right? Or like 100 years ago or something. Like pretty much everyone that's alive in Numeria at this point just knows that it is a garbage zone with pretty much all the stuff that's been stripped out of it that could be for as long as most of us have been alive.
There's always adventurers who like go there thinking like, I'm gonna be the one who finds like the real buried treasure there.
Sure.
But as far as anyone really knows, it's a giant pile of garbage / like a kind of lawless city.
Yeah, I was just kind of reiterating so the Technic League wouldn't probably take much interest in stuff going up there. He wouldn't have any useful information relating to that then, because they probably don't care about the garbage. They have plenty of other places that definitively have technology to focus their Cool.
Yeah, it's been so heavily looted for so long that I can't imagine the League would care about it.
So, I mean, it's the closest thing to scrap wall. I imagine Brix's people, of all folks, know. I'm sorry, to Chitterhome. Chitterhome is the closest thing to scrap wall.
Yeah, they're like 10 feet from each other when you look at it on a map.
Yeah, I imagine Brix's family would know. I was just trying to think about if, since we kind of have them in this very vulnerable but friendly position, friendly vulnerability. Is there any other information we could get from him that we could use on a long trek up to Starfall? Scrapwall. God darn it. Starfall. Let's just do it. Take on the boss right now.
Hell yes. What's interesting to me was that so yeah, we assume all of the treasure's been removed, but Hellion had this artifact, the power relay, with like among his treasures, is what Mayanda had said, and that makes me think, I wonder what else we'll find down there.
Yeah, I mean, by reputation, the place has been stripped bare, but at the same time, there is so much there just in volume that, who's to say?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I assume we're going to find cool stuff there. I was just wondering.
No, there's nothing good in this.
Book 2, nothing.
I mean, I was looking at the loot, and it's like pile of garbage, rotting vegetables, just a drawing on a napkin.
So many white key cards.
A wealth
I go
of
there,
white key
and they're
cards.
just on every corner.
Well,
They use white key
I'm
cards
wondering-
as tiles for their roof.
And my backup character is an Otiug, so that sounds like great to me.
Perfect.
Nothing but trash.
I'm wondering now if there's something there, and this is coming from a quick peek behind the curtain. We recorded this the same day as part of our machine learning for July, and there's something mentioned in that. Specifically, it was mentioned about is it the Starstone? What's the thing that you can touch? It turns you into a god.
Starstone.
Is that the Starstone? Yeah. I'm wondering if there's something in Scrapwall. Like, we've been trying to figure out what Hellion is. I wonder if it's just like a dude that found something in one of these crash ships that like gave him godhood.
Yeah, he found the gear stone.
Yeah.
Was an android, and now he is a god.
I mean, I am so focused on this core divinity directive thing that we heard as well, and their last foray under the mountain, and that is like, what is the divinity directive? But I agree with you. I mean, becoming a god is so wacky that it could really... I mean, it could be Norgaber, just in a larger trench coat, as opposed to being 3 halflings in a... Yeah.
Classic.
4 halflings in a trench coat this time. He's a large-sized creature.
Aha, write that down. Hellion's large size.
I didn't have much more. I mean, he really just... He spilled the technological beans. So...
It's pretty good.
Do you want to like take a gander at his spell book or something?
Ooh, that might be fun.
Yeah, would you let us? See if there's anything cool to copy over.
No, wizard to wizard.
Yeah, I should ask that as Brixby, huh? We also had another less intense line of questioning. The past couple days have been transformative for everyone. No more so people in this town, possibly, than the people inside this room, eh? But for myself and Kira in particular, we've come into some arcane powers that we didn't start with. Vargas's have just grown in strength. I know he and I could benefit from the written work of another wizard. I was wondering if we could take a glance at your spellbook.
Nods and says, I unfortunately lost the original in that foray under the mountain. But one of my backups is over there on the shelf. And he'll point to a shelf over on the side of the room, and I will paste the contents of that spellbook in the loot channel.
I'm just imagining Kira thinking for a second and kind of putting two and two together. It's like, wait, didn't we find the spellbook? And
But no, we didn't, though, I thought we
I don't
were
think we
guessing
did. That
he
was
didn't
one
bring
of
it
the-
with him.
No,
Yeah.
we did find like his wand and his bunch of other.
Was that his? That's
Who can say?
jumping to
Say.
conclusions. Anyway,
It's hard to say.
But yeah, now that makes me think we've got to go back. We've got to go back and find this spellbook
10 more
and the smoke
episodes.
monster.
Let's do it.
10 more apps.
Book one forever.
Ooh, acid arrows.
Ooh, I already got a scroll of that bad boy too, so you can copy that off me later if you had another one in mind. On that list. All right, I'll take a mental note of this and maybe correspond with him about coming back later to actually do the hour to copy this stuff down. So I imagine there's no way we could also actively participate while also being like, yes, sigil, yes, and not like just blowing my book up or something.
But since Brixby's opened the door, I think Kira will have that same sort of question. I don't think I know how to read spells from books, but Brix is right. I can do stuff different from before. Before we went out of the mountain, I was just a regular person, and now I can turn purple sometimes. And also, sometimes I get really blurry, and that's helpful, but kind of freaky. I don't really know what to do about this, and Brick said you would know.
He
Sorry for breaking your door.
he smiles and looking over at you and says, "That's quite all right. It happens more often than you'd think. But what you're describing, it sounds like perhaps you have sorcerer's blood in you. Now, generally speaking, it will be some distant ancestor with who's a member of some race or species in some cases that has a more natural link to magics. And I'd never taken you for the spellcasting type, so it's interesting that you would have natural magic.
So it comes from someone in my family?
Yeah, it comes from your actual blood, so in theory, yes.
Okay, well, I don't know anyone in my family, so that's confusing.
I'm afraid I can't point you in any specific direction for that.
Yeah, that's okay. Maybe, well, I guess I have something new to ask my mom. Thanks.
Before you all go, I just wanted to let you know that the Gearfather wanted to speak to you before you left town. I suppose that's it. He just asked me to tell you if I saw you.
Well, thank you. You've given us a lot to think about, and you've been most helpful. Your secret is safe with us. We won't put you or Val in any danger. We'll do what we can, in fact, to prevent any such from coming your way.
I appreciate your discretion.
I can come back later after our dinner engagement and help you a bit more with this, if you don't mind. And I take another peek at your book.
Sure. By all means. I mean, I can't promise I'll be working into the midnight hours, but I suspect you know how to get in here, should you need to.
Ah, yeah, don't you worry. You just fall asleep. I'll just have them on you shipshape in the morning. It's so weird.
It seems pretty likely you know how to break into my home.
You've done
just
it
to
every
fix
day.
on my robot centaur legs. I mean, it's true. I did say the secret ingredient was crime in another. It was canon. So
Vargas is going to be the last one out the door as we're going out.
no, you're gonna kill him. God,
He's not going to kill him.
he's gonna kill him. I'm just
He's
gonna
not
hear
gonna
for the
kill him."
Lord in iron, and then the foundry smoke just goes black.
He's not
No,
going to kill
not
him.
again.
Everyone shrugs and faces the camera. Vargas!
Wow.
I should have seen the bloodlust in his eyes.
But yeah, so as soon as Kira goes out the door, he's going to close it and lock it and walk back over to Connor.
It falls off the hinges.
And I'm killing Connor. And he says to him, when you were with the League, did you ever see a captain, maybe more than a captain at the time you were there, a woman my age, maybe slightly older, heavy ritual scarring on her face?
He thinks for a second and shakes his head. So I don't believe so. I don't think she was in Garton's employ, and I never really interacted with many of the other captains.
The girl, Val. Do you know her clan?
I don't believe she knows.
I want you to know what you did for her. It's a good thing. When you first mentioned that you had been with the League, it took all I had not to kill you right there in front of the rest of them. But saving this girl, trying to save the others. And he puts his real hand on his shoulder. Thank you, Connor. And then he's going to go back and unlock the door and go out to the rest of the group.
Picks it back off the ground, opens it, shuts it, falls back down. What a touching moment. Wow, tender Vargas. Sorry. Just ruined it.
Oh, what a touching moment. Vargas didn't kill him.
He didn't kill him. They practically
Didn't kill
hugged.
anyone. That was, basically a hug. Not killing you.
So he unlocks the door and steps out like nothing happened. Like, oh yeah, I'm here.
We're long gone.
Yeah, they all left.
I was going to say, I
They
don't
left
even know
town.
if anybody noticed that he closed the door.
Just cut to, hey, did we forget someone?
We're on a plane to New York.
Cuts to you guys sitting down for dinner at the Smith house.
No, yeah, we were just getting the dead friend blanket. But we're back and we're like holding it up and looking around and we're like, oh, never mind. Connor's like, why'd you have that? Oh, no reason. Nothing.
It was cold. It's cold. I would vote that, sorry, we see Radley first? That seems like a solid 15-minute interaction.
Wait,
Bradley or Kite?
Yeah.
Kite? Yeah. I don't, names.
Kite, yeah.
Names bad.
I mean, we can hang out with Radley too if you want to get that in. I do love Sam doing that voice. It is. It's going to be sad when we don't have clerics to abuse.
Oh, maybe we'll find one in Scrapwall.
Aw.
While we saunter over to the Temple of Bry, Asher would just ask Kira, so, is there anything we should pick up and bring to dinner with your family? I'll admit I don't frequently have these sorts of social gatherings, but I would hate to offend anyone.
We don't really have these sorts of social gatherings either. Usually it's just my sisters go places and then they come back and they bring, well, probably not anything that we can bring. Maybe like a chicken, but alive. A live chicken. And then we'll leave that invitation open and it can be a pet or a meal.
And he nods. Very well, I'm sure we can procure something like this in town. Your customs are strange to me, but I look forward to the experience.
Yeah, it's gonna be super fun. We will either eat or not eat the chicken and I guess play some board games. But not card games because some people cheat at those.
Cuts back to
So long as we're
Connor
not playing sorry.
stacking the deck.
Yeah.
You're playing sorry
You can
first.
just clearly see him through the window of the Founders or walking away, like slipping extra aces in.
Yeah,
And sewing them into his sleeves.
I was gonna just buy a cheap red, but I'm so into this Schrodinger's like gift idea of
In this box, there is either a rotisserie chicken or a regular chicken.
Oh man, I've been looking forward to the dinner scene. Can we please?
So are we going dinner scene, or are we going to Joram?
Yeah. Man, I just wanted to skip over Kite because I just want to hear you do both of Kira's parents' voices so bad.
Oh, God.
But yeah, no, sorry, my bad. To Kite.
I mean, Kite can be found, as usual, at the Church of What's-Her-Face, Rye. The doors are always open this time of day, so he's just in the back, puttering away in his, ridiculous tool belt with all in his priestly smock. He'll stop what he's doing when he sees you coming and go say, the very capable four. It's good to see you again.
Hi.
Yes, likewise, well met. We heard from our friend Connor, and he'll wink, that he wanted to see us, because he knows he's in on it.
He blinks several times, but goes, yes, if you were, going to Scrapwall, as we discussed the other day, there's actually an old friend of mine, a woman, named Dinvaya, who, years ago, she, fled there to, escape, persecution from the Technically. This was a long time ago, before you were born. But I believe she's still there, and she's still alive, and I haven't been able to get in contact with her through any means. So if you're able to find her when you go to Scrapwall, just let her know that it's been long enough, and she's free to emerge from hiding, and there's a place for her in Torch if she wishes to return to society. We'd be happy to have her.
Be certainly pleased to attempt to locate her. Could you describe her to us, perhaps anything more than her gender by which she identifies herself?
Well, she's a cleric of Bry like myself. She's a half-elf, so she likely still looks much younger than I do, but she's been around for a good long time, just the same. She's and he'll give you a description of her that I'm not going to try to do because I can't do descriptions off the top of my head like that.
It's not going to be uncomfortable, like brown eyes you can fall into.
It's a little uncomfortable. I'm not gonna lie. It's
A very
Got those
descriptive description.
Half-elven earlobes you could just nibble on. All right. I mean,
no.
she's...
Anyway, I wrote her this sonnet. Please be sure.
They've accumulated over the decades, so there's actually a binder of them.
Yes. Tell her old Joy Bear's waiting for her in Torch.
And,
No thanks.
he'll point over to that long, weird, wrenchy thing that you see him with all the time, and say, if you're able to get in contact with her and bring word back that she's all right at the very least, I'll give you my metamagic rod here as a reward.
Is that the one that he's been using to empower the water breathing spell?
Yeah, that's a
So it's
lesser
is it
rod.
extending then?
It's a lesser rod of extend metamagic, which is
Nice.
an expensive item, and it's totally unreasonable for him to give you that just for looking up his old girlfriend. But
And since this is one of those podcasts where people learn about things, Jeff is going to go ahead and explain why everyone looked excited when you said Meta Magic Rod. Myself included, I was also excited because I already know why that is.
Sure. This is expensive.
Great.
And
I know what
happy to
expensive
explain.
means.
Yeah, so metamagic rods let you basically act as though you have a metamagic feat. for a limited number of uses per day, and those modify spells typically by consuming things like a higher level spell slot. But in this case, extend water breathing might normally last a few hours based on his level, but the extend lets it last much, much longer. So for positive effects like shield or things like that,
Haste.
haste, yeah, they're awesome for buffs, especially.
Cool. I know. Yeah. No. Obviously.
I mean, obviously, I wasn't talking to you. I know.
I
you
think
know.
it was guests and listeners.
Yeah, mechanically speaking, 3 times a day, a lesser rod of extend meta magic will let you will double the duration of any spell level 0 through 3 that has a set duration, so nothing permanent. But like haste will last double as many rounds if you cast it, or shield, the same thing. Mage armor, if you want to do it, will be double as many hours. So it's a useful item.
Yes, it's a very generous offer. We will certainly do what we can to find your half-elven friend who you described previously, mere moments ago.
How do you know she'll be safe here?
I believe that when she hid, it was before most of the members of the Technic League today were even born. It's been a long, long time, and I've put out feelers several times just to see if there still remains a bounty on her head, and it appears they've lost interest in her long ago.
Meanwhile, Brix grows increasingly uncomfortable with this line of conversation.
No, I definitely didn't put out feelers and get her killed because people are still looking for her. Cool.
You shut your mouth.
Yo, that was Jeff. You could tell because my voice and Ash's voice are like substantially different.
Yeah, but he could hear you because he's a cleric.
He's a cleric.
The whisper in bronze is tricky.
Well, cool. So, look up an old acquaintance, acquire a powerful rod. There wasn't anything else you wanted to give us before we leave.
I'm afraid I don't think I have very much else of value at the moment. You have, of course, my eternal gratitude for saving the town.
I'm sure that fits in the bag of holding. Let me just look and see if there's room. Yep.
Sorry, I don't know why I just got so sassy with him.
Man.
He did just give us so many spell slots.
Wow.
He
You
just
know.
sits down and he cries. He throws the metamatic rod on the ground and then he kicks it.
Dude, balls up his poem, come back to kite, it will be all right. Garbage.
You can give us water breathing, just for old time's sake.
Last time.
It wouldn't be the same.
If you want to blow other spell slots on us, you want to channel a little bit, I could. I guess I'm technically down 1 hit point.
You could punch Brixby in the face right now.
That always cheers him up.
21 to hit.
The Brixby just goes down.
Oh, God.
All right, have we...
11 points of damage.
Oh, man.
Oh, God.
He's dead.
I'm glad we're not playing with
You
massive
killed him.
damage rules. All right. Well, Brixby spits out its teeth and gets ready to head on to the Smith residence. For hopefully the last time he will be punched, but he's really not sure, given on where he's going.
Yeah, it could go either way.
What's the cost these days on a live chicken and a little cage as far as like silver, gold, copper?
Gotta look it up.
I actually know the answer to this for 5e, but I don't know it for Pathfinder.
I'm sure they're cheap, but I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah,
I do
especially
know-
since we've lost that 20% off, so...
Yeah.
Right? And it's hard because I want to find one that looks like both a cute pet and possibly a filling meal.
Delicious meal.
So it's like might be like a cute, like a chunky chicken.
A chicken is 1 GP.
Okay, yeah.
So it's the same as
Not bad.
5e.
Doable. We could do that
Does it? Maybe they'll throw in a small little carrying case.
because we're a hero.
Sure.
Probably not. 12 platinum for the carrying case.
You can get the cage for free, but it's broken. And the chicken escapes.
We could put it in the bag of holding, and every 9.5 minutes pull it out, let it breathe.
Here you go, chicken.
How long has it been? Is it still alive?
Oh, God.
No. Sorry, that was definitely me, not Asher.
Asher will not abide my violence or unfairness, but, you know, ooh,
He'll have words
almost
with me
worth it,
later.
yeah. Chicken, though.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll take a GP out of my my cut, and as Kira suggested, bring a live chicken to the Smith residence.
Oh, man. I feel like y'all are just trying to set me up at this point.
Oh, yeah. So what is the chicken's name and voice, as well as the person we bought the chicken from, and the name of the shop?
Thank you, Sam.
Hello, I'm here to buy a chicken. Didn't get your name, sir or madam.
Well, this is Charlie the Lizard Folks. Chicken Emporium. You can have 1 chicken for 1 gold.
That's quite a deal, my good friend Charlie the Lizard Folk.
It's weird. I'm actually a halfling. I don't know why my last name is the Lizard Folk.
Are you adopted?
By other halflings. But my parents had a different last name. I think they were just jerks. And he looks sad.
Oh, dear.
I should probably change it, but it's on the sign already.
I noticed that outside. I wasn't sure if you were the Charlie named there on the sign. But, yes, I'd be happy to buy a chicken off you for the going rate of 1 gold piece.
Now, you truly are living up to your motto of more cluck for your buck at this emporium, I must say. These chicken prices.
I don't remember seeing that logo. Did you just come up with that just now?
That is some great future merch.
That'd be one of those, yeah, like a deep cut sort of thing where you walk in within a mug and people are like, oh, what's Charlie's the lizard person's chicken emporium? You're like, oh, it's this great restaurant out in Seattle. It's actually all vegan. You wouldn't even guess it, you know?
Yeah, it's ran by a halfling, oddly enough. No, I'm sure Sam is actually scribbling right now in his notes that they have locations scattered across Numeria.
Oh, they're everywhere.
It's a franchise.
It's the Torch, the Lizard Folks.
But this is the flagship store.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
we walked into Colonel Sanders is working behind the counter.
The original Ray's Pizza. Awesome. Yeah, Asher buys a chicken from Charlie the Lizard Folks Chicken Emporium.
All right, y'all come back now, you hear?
I'm certain we will.
Just remember,
don't know why.
we don't sell anything but chickens.
Well, I hear they make good pets and also socially acceptable gifts to bring when attending a gathering.
Oh, yes. It's all the rage with the youths.
Mm-hmm. Perhaps we'll bring a chicken to the library grand opening.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Kids would love that.
Perhaps I'll sponsor the library grand opening. Maybe they'll name it after me. Charlie the Lizard Folks Chicken Emporium Silver Disc Hall Library of Torch. I can see it now.
What a philanthropist.
Quite the marquee. Kira's going to run back in for a stamp card, and then they're definitely going to dinner.
Oh, yes, you can't forget the frequent shopper card.
And this works at all the franchise locations, right?
Well, I can't make any guarantees about the World Wound location. They've been up to squirrely business up there.
Okay, thank you.
It's been an honor to meet you.
You too.
He tips his hat and departs with the chicken.
And Charlie tips his hat as well. That's right, he's wearing a hat.
The mystery grows.
And as the very capable four cross the streets of Torch, bearing a chicken in a cage that has the Charlie the Lizard Folks seal emblazoned upon the cage, I'm going to bed.
Good night, Sam.
Good night, Sam.
Good night, Sam.
Good night.
Pod against the machine. Against the machine.
Pod Against the Machine is property of its creators, all rights reserved. Pathfinder and the Iron Gods Adventure Path are properties of Paizo Publishing. Please visit them at paizo.com for more information. Theme Against the Machine, written and performed by our own Zach. Please consult the show notes for additional music and sound effect licensing information.
We miming? This would be such a conceptual podcast.
All right. So we're all ready?
Affirmative.
1, 2, 3, clap.
This time I knew what number it was going to be.
Ooh. That's a book 2 GM right there.
Yeah. One book in, we're learning. I know numbers all the way up to 3.
It's better than King Arthur.
Oh.